Good morning. I am here at Close Creek where I will be fishing tomorrow during the first day of trout season here in North Carolina. And I've spent a little bit of time scouting the creek, but before we get to all that, tonight, Friday, April 3rd, probably around 8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern, I am going to be live streaming a last-minute fly tying session to get ready for tomorrow. So be there, turn the notifications on or the bell or whatever, subscribe, email, whatever you gotta do. If you want to be there, remember to be there. Set an alarm tonight, 8:30, 9ish, right here on this channel. So obviously this year is a little bit different because there's a global pandemic. So I have come out to scout the creek, see what the situation is like, and the situation isn't good. So I am currently scouting Close Creek, which is where I do my opening day fishing. And this year I'm going to be keeping what I catch because it's a good source of protein. But I wanted to come down and see what the baseline crowd is like, because I've heard some rumors that things are absolutely insane down here, and it's looking like those rumors are true. Oh Lord. Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. On a normal weekday, there would be 1 or 2 cars here at 11 in the morning. So obviously, the baseline crowd has definitely seen an uptick. So in addition to that, the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission has put out a couple statements saying that they expect people to social distance on opening day of the season, and that if people don't do that themselves, then the state will socially distance us by shutting down all the public trout waters for the season. And people are stupid, so I'm expecting that to happen. In fact, most trailheads and fisheries are closed right now, except for this spot, actually, because even though it's in a national forest, it's like a special, I can't reveal too much about the place without burning the spot, but there's a special designation, and it's still open, which is why there's such a big crowd here right now. So I'm going to head down the trail and see what I can see. So I'm starting to be really concerned about my ability to fish this year, because this place is just crawling with people. Like, might as well be downtown. And I think they are going to shut down public waters, which means basically any place I go that's stocked will be off the table. So I'm going to have to find new places to fish. Normally every year, as y'all know, every year I'm like, I'm never gonna go fish opening day ever again, and then I do. I always do. And this year will be no different, because even though I had designs not to fish tomorrow, I'm gonna keep these fish. We're gonna put them in the freezer because food is good right now. I know in the YTPC we're all about our beards. You guys like my quarantine neck beard here? It's very annoying. This is a nice little spot though. Cool little zone here. But in about, 15 hours, it's gonna be a ton of fishermen right behind me. We haven't really had a chance to talk. Yeah, I don't feel very safe. I don't feel very safe out here, because when we do the Sunday Andy Social, I'm in character, right? We gotta move the video on, we gotta answer the questions and all that. And I haven't really just had a check-in video with you guys about what I think is happening and what's going on. And I haven't left the house without a mask in 2 weeks now? 3 weeks? Been walking around with a Shemag scarf on my face in the store. We didn't have any PPE. We didn't stockpile N95s or gloves or anything like that. So we're making do, which is fine. That stuff should be where it's needed most. But you know, we're supposed to. The state is mandating 6 feet between people. Well, this trail's 4 feet wide. Most of the news media that I read is reporting that 6 feet is actually wholly inadequate. That we actually might need up to something like 30 feet. So every time you see another person on the trail, it's calculated risk. Now, I don't think there's a huge risk of transmission on an open trail in the breeze, but we don't know, right? So I probably should have worn my bank robber mask, and then you wouldn't be able to see the neckbeard. As tiny and overpopulated as this creek is, it's always going to have a special place in my heart, because right down there is where I caught my first trout on a dry fly, on an elk hair caddis that I tied myself. I was so excited, and I caught it, and then I got it tangled up in that brush over there. But I think I did get it in the net. I'll have to go back and look at my notes. And then over there, well, I'll show you when we get closer. Y'all can't see it because of the highlights on the water, but there's about 15 trout right there. Some of you may remember, this is the log that I saw a bear cross one time. That was pretty cool. Right over there, I caught my first trout on a Sakasa Kabari Tenkara fly, and I believe there's a family of otters that lives under that stump. Right here, first time I ever caught a trout on a pheasant tail nymph. What are you doing, buddy? Just hanging out with your friend over here? Just chilling? For people that don't believe there's a difference between stock trout and wild trout, I'm about probably 10 feet away. I am not social distancing enough from this trout right now. A wild trout would have been gone before I left the trail. So I was standing there watching those fish. The lady came up with her dog. Dog gets in the water. I said, hey, just so you know, there's about 15 trout right in front of your dog. She said, that's okay, he doesn't mind. And I mean, you know I'm not standing there with a fishing rod in my hand. I'm always mystified by people's ability to think that things are there just for them. Like, this lady thinks that this pool is just there for her dog to cool off in. Yes, people would say, well, Gribbs, you think it's just there for you to fish in, but that's not true. Like, I'm acutely aware that this is a shared space, and it's not even really a natural space anymore, the way that we treat it. I mean, these fish would not even be here if they weren't stocked, and I don't think this stream can really support, certainly not trout that size on its own. I mean, I guess in the larger scope, though, you could say, hey, Gribbs, this place would have been a natural, like, warm water wetland before all these trails were built. That's okay. I don't mind. Great. So yeah, I think a lot of this video is really just a grieving process for this spot, because I don't think it's going to be open this year, and it'll be open tomorrow, but then I bet they'll shut it down. And then who knows what's going to happen in the world by next year. I don't think maintaining a bunch of employees at the hatchery is really going to be the best use of resources. And I don't even like to fish stocked waters that much. This is kind of where I grew up. I'm so glad I learned to... Hey, how are you? Yeah, so it used to be a good place to come fish a little bit. Now it's an amusement park during a pandemic. Not sure what's up with that guy. He doesn't look well. Usually when fish hold in an odd place like that, I mean, he's right on the surface, usually means they're dying. Could just be a problem from the hatchery, or he ate an old lure. It was floating around or something. In the past, I've scooped them out with my net and dispatched them to put an end to whatever suffering they're going through, but then I kind of changed my policy on that. I think that if I were a fish, I'd rather just be left alone to die. Nature favors the prepared, the adaptive, and those who can foresee the consequences of their actions. And I can foresee seeing a lot of you tonight as I'm tying. How was that for a segue? That was pretty good. Tonight on the live stream, 8:30, 9 o'clock Eastern, I'm down in the cave, smoking my pipe, drinking my evening coffee, tying up some flies. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.